Oh yeah. So first we got Mashle, episode 9, Mash and Accelerated Battle. So this time Mashle sits its more unserious tone aside, and we got to look into some of the antagonist's past. Change of pace is good, right?
I'd say so, man. I actually really like the change of tone this episode. Um, Sister actually watched it with me, and she was like, "This is pretty cool." I was like, "It is never like this, actually." I was like, "It's usually so unserious." There's a lot of door jokes and cream puff jokes, and she was like, "Really?" I was like, "Yes, yes, yes, yes."
Yeah, it was definitely nice to get away from I don't want to say satire, but it's basically satire, and get to something more serious, especially with how like deep some of the backstories on our main characters are. I mean, Mash and Lance especially, and seeing their backstory like in comparison to people who had similar, instances with their upbringing, it was really cool to see how they like foiled that with each of the main characters.
Yeah, it was cool, man. But yeah, the episode started with Lance versus Worth, the third Fang. Um, our boy got to play around in the mud a little bit like a little kid. And like you said, Dan, they were foils for each other. I thought it was really interesting that way. We actually got to see some good storytelling instead of some Harry Potter references. Uh, couldn't say enough good things about this, actually.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad that it got away from. Oh, not really glad, but I'm glad that we actually didn't have a lot of humor this time since we're coming in on the end of the season, I guess. So,
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad we're actually getting some decent fights. It feels like.
Well, I was gonna
Yeah,
say I'm glad we got the fights, but I'm also really glad that we got more of like I guess like a philosophical battle as well, not just boxing, which was cool to see.
yeah, and it was cool how our main cast kind of handled the philosophical differences. It wasn't all hate; it was a lot of understanding, actually, which I wasn't really expecting. Um, until this point, it was more like I'm going to kick your ass because I don't like you. So it added some depth to the plot a little bit, and the backstories were kind of sad. They were unfortunate, I should say. Um,
Yeah, now we're just copying Demon Slayer. Everybody's got a sad backstory.
oh my gosh! At least nobody's family died.
I kind of got a little worried though when they was fighting because it seems like the antagonist has all these flashy moves and all these different abilities and stuff like that throwing at him, but then you got like Lance Crown and most of our other protagonists that we watch. They use the same move over and over, like Explome or Graviola, and then it actually went even. It did like halfway through the fight. I think he started using different moves other than Gravioli or whatever the hell it's called. So
That's a good pasta dish.
I was gonna say we got granola and ravioli right here, guys.
yeah. So I was happy that they actually dove into it and gave him some more moves to play with because at that time I was like, man, they're making the antagonist like look cool with all these different moves and stuff, and they're making
Facts.
our protagonists one trick ponies.
Well,
So
I mean, when your magic is gravity and you don't need another move, like you just like pound people into the ground, like it's a wrap usually after that, unless your man's made of mud, I guess.
yeah, unless
Hey,
he's made
Lance
of
did
mud.
switch it up a little bit. He put the gravity on the wall. It was going sideways this time.
That's true, yeah.
And that's when I was like, okay, now we're seeing some different shit. I like this.
Yeah, Lance
Okay.
was getting in his bag a little bit. He was.
I
Um,
was really, really excited. So they introduced second form of magic, which is basically just like your Bankai from Bleach. And I was like, oh, this is badass. We're turning up to 11 right here.
yeah, it was like ultimate moves. It seemed like, but going back to like the philosophical differences. Worth was saying that you're more of a product of your environment and what you hang around, which I think can be true in some cases. But I really liked Lance's perspective on it. He said, I have so much inner determination, and my goal is so set that it doesn't matter what is around me. And I want to know what y'all thought about those two different sides to that same coin.
Yeah, I always think the nurture versus nature debate is very interesting because I can't go into too much detail on it, but I definitely think it's more of a 50-50 than people think with everything like that. So I thought it was interesting that they kind of brought that into this. Like, it's who you're around, who you're raised by, who you're raised with, stuff like that. When in reality, like Lance said, your inner determination or like your inner person can really get you past any of that or not. It's really interesting to see either way.
Yeah, I think it just depends on the person. Whether or not that uh you become a product of the people around you, or if you can, push past that and be your own person.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, I've always thought like you got to have your own goals. You got to know why you're doing something. You have to have your own why. It's normally like a interview question. Why are you doing this? Why do you want this job? And you all have your own different reasons for doing what you do and doing what you love. But I think it is important to surround yourself with good people at the same time.
100%.
Being around successful people, or I mean, well mannered, or whoever it is, whoever you choose to be your friends, it does affect you. It kind of sets I would say, like your bar,
Yeah. But at
and
the
you can
same
live up to it or
time,
not.
some people can't really choose who they're around, early on, and
Yes,
it's up to them to you know, make a person out of themselves instead of being a product of a bad situation too. So
very true, very true. Another cool thing that we saw, and it kind of answered some questions for us. Worth showed us like this vial of the magical essence, and they're actually extracting that from the students, and that's why they're losing their magic.
I
And I called it. If y'all don't remember, I actually called this one, and I said that they were trying to power themselves up. I thought they were just giving it to the second Fang because I thought he was magicless. Turned out not to be true, but I knew they were extracting it for their own use at the very least.
I figured for sure it was Lang dorm, so at least we got that part right.
Oh yeah, it had to be. They're absolutely the villains so far.
Yeah, I think it would have been really an interesting move to introduce another villain group during the middle of all of this. If it wasn't Langdorm, that'd be kind of crazy. So I'm glad they're sticking to what makes sense, because like I know we were introduced briefly to or was it Innocent Zero
Yes.
last episode. So like if he just showed up out of nowhere during this big like dorm brawl, I'd be like, okay, wait your
What do you-
turn, buddy. Get
Yeah,
to the back. We'll see you next season.
I was about to say they're going to set that up for us for next season, 100%.
One question I got though, with all this essence, like the magical essence being removed, and it seems like the people actually lose their magic forever. Do you think they're gonna kill them? Like, since they
That's a
have no
good
magic?
question. That's a good question. That's the main reason I was worried about Lemon, which we'll
Because
get.
didn't Lance say that his sister was gonna have to die when she lost all her magic, right? Something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
one of
why he's
these.
trying to save his sister. So I think they do actually get killed if they lose their magic, which is
It's
such
wild.
bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say though, I mean, if these guys can power up by drinking the magical essence they steal from students, why can't the students who lose their magic drink the same thing and get it back? Maybe like I don't know, they can figure out some way to do that.
I'm pretty sure the Grandmaster can step in and like probably magic them. I don't know the right word for that.
Yeah, just
But
grab the Sharpie, draw a line on their face, call it a day.
Yeah, that's what Mash does. So
I mean,
who
they're already at the
cares?
magic school. They can fake it the rest of the way like Mash. But I was thinking, at least for Langdorm, it seemed like it would be a temporary boost, because otherwise, why would they need that many people's magic unless they're just trying to be completely OP, which would be on par for them. But I think it's a temporary boost.
So do you think the reason why they're going this hard on stealing all the magic is because the Grandmaster is out of town?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's a
don't
good
think they'd
time.
be getting away with this if he was at the school.
Yeah, it's a good time to do it for sure.
I don't think they would do it otherwise. So
Yeah, I don't think he's fuck withable at
yeah.
all.
No, not at all. Old man
Unless you're
Dumbledore, you don't fuck with him.
unless you're Mash though.
He doesn't care. Our man does not care. But
Yeah,
yeah, Go
Oh,
ahead.
I was gonna say, are we moving on from the Lance fight? Or are we gonna? Okay, I just want to bring up one more thing. I really thought the whole concept of it, not just your upbringing, but also the whole concept of a person's worth, was really interesting to dive into. Basically, Worth was saying, it's funny that his name is Worth as well. Was saying that like a person's worth just basically is the determining factor of how successful somebody's going to be. So anybody in his eyes with a single line on their face is kind of just trash. But you get Lance and Mash and everybody else who like are very against that ideal. So I thought it was really interesting that they brought that up.
Yeah, it was cool to see, and it was good that they kind of like clarified his thought on what your magic means to an individual. And like you said, it is pretty funny. His name is Worth.
I literally just noticed that.
They're not being very creative with the names. I will say that.
Yeah, I'm
but
surprised the show's not called Smashel.
Facts.
And I ain't gonna lie, our boy Worth, his drip was, he was dripping, bro.
Oh, he was clean.
Yeah,
That shit was clean. I was sitting there saying that out loud. I was like, oh shit. Look at
like
this
when I
thing.
first seen him, I was like, man, is this Gojo over here? Like that's what it reminded me of. When the little pitch video that we keep seeing for JJK2.
Yeah.
Gojo just strolling along with the little, round glasses and shit shades. So
Cool. But yeah, moving to Mash's fight with the second Fang, Abyss Razor, we finally got to see what that whole eye was, and it was the eye of the devil. And the reason that they called it that is because it can nullify people's magic. He can nullify anybody's magic in a fight, and that is obviously frowned upon in a world of magic. And I thought it was kind of funny that his parents just kind of like, it wasn't funny, it was tragic, but his parents like locked him up, and then like when he was like 10 or something, his mom came to like strangle him out. Very dark for this show. Did not see that going there at all. But I thought it was a pretty easy solution to where they could just gouge out his eye or something. If it's really that bad, why throw away the baby with the bathwater?
Whoa. Let's not go so far as gouge. Let's just do like Kakashi does. Just put something over his eye, bro.
But it's still there, dude.
Yeah, they were gonna kill him. I mean, that's gouging somebody's eye out is way better than just
cover it
getting rid
up,
of him.
right?
Hey man, the taboo of being born with the eye of the devil, man, you're not getting away from that. So once people know he's a pariah, there's nothing you can do about it, So I think in this world, they had the right idea. Just because even if you gouge it out, who knows if he still doesn't have some sort of magic nullification abilities, or what if his other eye just magically turns into the eye of the devil? You don't know.
The other eye, then.
Just throw him out on the street or something. I mean, I don't know. Give him to somebody that wants him.
That's why he went to Langdorm.
I did think his backstory was really interesting because it was like the polar opposite of Mash. Because while Mash was cast aside for being magicless, old grandpa over here, found him and raised him with like dignity and like taught him how to be a good person. Where Razor was just locked up, key thrown away, basically like you're dead to us. And it was really interesting parallel there.
Yeah, and it actually explained why when Abyss met Mash and kind of instantly knew he was magicless, and he said, "You're like me." And now we know that he meant that as he sees that some people in this world just shouldn't have been born. That's what he thinks about himself. And I guess that's what he thinks about Mash as well. Because they live in a pretty cruel world.
They really do. It's really messed up.
Yeah, man. It's just run by fucked up people, that's how it goes. But his magic was fucking cool.
Yeah, the little speed arrows. That was dope, man. That was dope. And what'd you guys think about Mash getting like just cut to bits and not caring? And like it not really affecting him? Like I thought that was I thought he should have struggled a little bit more, at least like moving around after being slashed with a sword dozens of times.
I mean, if this wasn't Mashle, if this wasn't the show that, that's like does this type of shit all the time, then I would have been concerned because their man literally was gushing blood from the stomach at one point. The sword actually went all the way through him to the other side. And then after that moment where he grabbed him and said, gotcha, and hit him back, headbutted him, it no longer existed anymore. Airman's got Airman is Genya, bro.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
he just flexed it up, flex the abs, and the sword couldn't come out. I was like, all right, this is Mash. We're back.
It was ridiculous.
If it was any other show, bro, I'd been like, nah, bro, this shit's whack. But yeah, it's Mashle, so it's what we expect.
It is what it is.
So.
And Abyss actually showed Mash the device that was extracting magic, and that's when they actually explained that Lemon has about 30 minutes until her magic is completely gone and gone forever. I thought, and I think the nurse's office thinks that this is like a temporary thing, but I hope that they can get all the magic back to these kids so they don't get thrown to the wolves, is what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, don't want to off a bunch of students.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was gonna say something dark.
Maybe
I'm not gonna do it.
But then again, maybe our boy Abyss Razor, he's just bullshitting right now. Maybe he's just doing that just like Lance did Mash, when he threw the bottle over the side of the mountain and used gravity magic on it. Maybe he's just bullshitting to get something out of Mash. So
I don't think so. With how loyal Razor Abyss is to Abel, I think he's dead ass serious, honestly. Like,
yeah, I don't think he has a reason to lie at this point. But I think that loyalty also has been shaken by Mash because he's probably the first person that treated him like an actual person instead of a tool. Like what Abyss was saying, he's like, this is my sole purpose is to serve him because this is all I have. This is the only person that will accept me. He sees me as useful, and that's why he goes so hard for Langdorm and for Lord Abel there. And Mash even went as far as to say, "Is like, if you need to talk sometime, let me know, and like we can definitely be friends, bro." I'm not gonna say I was surprised by it, but it was something cool to see, and I hope that they can get Abyss over to their side at some point.
Yeah, I also will say I really liked Abyss's design when they got that mask off him. He was a cool looking character.
Yeah. And also some symbolism to end the episode. We saw Abyss's mask crack even more when it was laying on the ground. So I think he might turn at some point. I really do hope so, and I think so. They didn't put that at the end and show that for no reason.
Do you think he's gonna get another mask, or you think he's gonna embrace himself now?
I think he'll embrace himself a little bit more. I think Mash gave him some confidence, man.
Okay, I see. I really hope that he does away with the mask. It would make it a little bit more interesting as far as his character goes. So
I don't know if you can just show up to class with an evil eye like that, though. Might get some questions going, and some teachers pretty scared of you really quick. I mean, they're already scared of him. He's one of the lupus. So
eye patch, bro. Get an eye patch. You cool like that, bro.
That's awesome. Not a bad idea, just for him living his life. Actually,
that's not as cool as that mask. Though. That mask is fresh.
Hell no.